So hello and welcome to Raggy's pub review video. I went over to Lincoln yesterday, got the train into Lincoln. It was a good journey, to be fair, decent train. Yeah, I was happy enough. My whole point of going to Lincoln primarily was to go and get some Batemans Brewery beer on cask in their own pubs, because in their own pubs you're getting the beer as it should be. You know, if it's your pub, the beer should always be top notch, you know. So anyway, we pull into Lincoln train station. I looks out the corner of my eye. I'm a nosy sod, you know. I'm a gardener. Worked on gardens for 22 years. You have to have your eyes open. Spotted the Treaty of Commerce, literally 50 yards from the train station. It's like, get in. Walks in. We were the first people in the pub just after 12 o'clock. This was on the bar. So walks in, nice open area, seating in the corner. That's where we went. Big long pub, quite thin, but very long. More seating at the other end of the bar, then an outdoor area which just went on for like 3 miles. Never seen anything like it. I don't know if it opened up at the back, so I didn't go that far. I did take a video for the channel yesterday. But yeah, it just went on for ages. It was, you know, it's about the only video I took inside a pub, because every other pub was rammed. And people don't really like taking videos. You know, there's always somebody, I just don't want to do it. I don't want to cause any issues. So walks up. First 2 beers on the bar, 2 brand new beers to the Raggy Beer Review channel. I have reviewed them. They will probably, depends on how I put the videos out. You'll either see it before or after. One of the two. Bateman's Gold. I'm not sure if it's called Yellow Belly or it's called Gold. I thought it was called Gold. But anyway, Bateman's Gold on the bar. Bateman's XB was on the bar. There was a Sharps beer on the bar. And there was Ostel Tribute on the bar. And then there was lagers. I wasn't interested in the lagers, you know. This is a beer review channel. Lagers are lagers. They've got loads. There was a good selection of lagers, spirits in the background. But for me, my primary thing was to try the Bateman's beers, obviously. So I had the new Bateman's Triple Hop and the Gold. And gotta say, both beers, especially the Triple Hop. The Triple Hop, oh, that was a beauty, that was. The lady behind the bar, you know, really, there's a bit of banter, you know, or we're coming for a half. First, you know, got off the train, we've had an half, and she's having an half. I'm having 2 halves. You having a pint? No, I'm having 2 halves. So I did actually have 2 halves, because that's standard Raggy's Beer Reviews reviewing. I can't drink a pint of each in each pub. I won't last 3 pubs. So, yeah, 2 halves. And sat down, people were coming in, good footfall coming in, obviously near the train station. And before you walk up the other side, up the hill to Lincoln Castle, yeah, and there was a steampunk festival on as well. Lots of people dressed very differently. Yeah. Yeah. I've never been to a steampunk festival. There was one bloke, he had this thing on his back, and I've never seen anything like it in my life. But yeah, I mean, Bang the Elephant, funnily enough, they're steampunk inspired, so they do well to have some beers around that area. But anyway, yeah, for a first time in a pub, it came across to me as, I think it was an old tea place back in the day. It's got 2 doors on the front, which is really weird, although one door was covered by the big settee, corner settee, which we were sat on. Did a review in there. You'd expect that anyway, you know. Baggies, I don't go out and drink beer and not review it. Only one pub did I do that in yesterday, not review, because I was absolutely shattered. Drinking beer all day, falling asleep on the train, jobs are good. But yeah, enjoyed the place. Finally got to have the beers that I'd gone for, you know, as just to learn what Lincoln's about. It's interesting. There are lots more in this series of Lincolnshire pub reviews, and yeah, I thought Lincoln was a nice place, a bit like Nottingham in some areas. You can see some areas that needs some investment. Nottingham's the same. We are shockingly, and I think a lot of that's down to the government at the moment, and bad decisions. Looking after the very rich, and but we're not going down that road. Could talk for hours about that. But yeah, I mean, Lady Behind the Bar, like I say, she had a good. You could hear her talking to the people in the background. There was a nice, and this is what you want when you go to a pub. You want people who are approachable, friendly, pour a nice pint, having a bit of a chit chat. Last thing you want is somebody hospitality. You can't be in hospitality if you can't talk to people. Obviously, some people are very difficult to talk to. You know, we're probably the most social out of most people you'll ever come across, all in different ways, different personalities and laughters. Me and the happy drinkers, me, my wife, Tracy, Andy and Angela, we are the happy drinkers. And with a certain beer reviewer, drinks beer and talks about beer and that sort of thing. But yeah, we had a great time in there, well worth a visit, and because it's next to the train station, it's the first one off the train station. Go and get yourself possibly 2 or 3 Batemans beers. What would I like to see? My only thing is possibly more Batemans on the bar. If not in cask form, because I understand the cost. In cask, you've only got so many days. In keg, I don't know if Batemans do keg. So this is a thing where I don't know. But in the future, if they do put Batemans beers, especially small batch brews, I did speak to Lee yesterday, who actually does some of the Batemans tours. A firefighter who does Batemans tours, and he was saying that they'd brought out a dark mild that went down a storm. And I tell you now, getting those old recipes from yesteryear, tweaking them, making sure they're, because some of the old recipes from breweries, some of them are I'm not saying every brewery, so please don't take this as offence, but some of the old recipes from yesteryears may have been a bit slightly home brewery in the sense of word, without offending anyone, because people get offended when I'm not trying to offend. I'm just trying to put a point across. And he was saying about a dark mild that Buster, the new brewer at Batemans, have made, and I think that's an absolute thing. Put in the effort. I assume most of these Batemans pubs and pubs around the Lincoln have got the ability to do keg as well as cask. Certainly smaller pubs, but anyway, cask beers, smaller batch cask beers like this dark mild and other beers. People love that variation, and it will sell. It brings people into the pubs, and for me, if I'm going to a pub and every week there's something different on, as well as the core stuff, a bit of an ever-changing lineup of beers, it is interesting. Even if it's a little firkin at the back of the bar, yeah, even though the name now, put a firkin at the back of the bar with a tap on. When it's cooler, obviously, when in later times of the year when it warms. If it's a dark beer, it doesn't really matter about temperature. But you imagine something like that. But yeah, cracking traditional pub, well worth a visit on your trek to Lincoln. I know I said Beeston. But yeah, and that's my review of the Treaty of Commerce. Cracking place. See you soon.